Look at all these fuses. I'll get to this part in a little bit. Man, this car just keeps popping fuses like pills.
What do you mean by that?
Look at all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wow, I blew 8 fuses on this trip.
Yeah, boy.
Oh.
What?
No way. Is that supposed to look like that?
No.
No way. Got the C32 almost up in the air because I've been having some issues with the 32. It's getting really frustrating and it's been leaving me stranded. You know, I took this out on my first trip from Atlanta to Virginia. 9 hours on the road. I had an hour left and the fuse just blew. And, you know, obviously I didn't know what it was, but I thought it was the alternator because the car cut off, and you know, once it slows down and gets to the end, it just turns off and you see like a red battery. So I thought it was alternator or battery. Long story short, I was able to tow it to the next exit, figured it out, found out it was the fuel relay fuse. So got that changed and, you know, drove the car around town. It was fine. Drove it to DC. It was fine. And then on the way back from DC, it blew again. And I wasn't sure why it blew again. I got a new fuse, plugged it in there. It just kept blowing and blowing. Long story short, we thought it was the fuel pump relay because there was a reserved relay in the trunk. Oh, okay, I have everything torn apart. Look at all these fuses. I'll get to this part in a little bit, but man, this car just keeps popping fuses like pills. Anyways, look at all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wow, I blew 8 fuses on this trip. This is the rear sim right here. This relay right here is the reserved relay. There's supposed to be one more, but there was only one, so I put the reserved relay right here because this is where the fuel pumps relay is. And the reason why I thought it was the relay is because, so the relay is supposed to read between 50 to 150 ohms. And the one that was already in the fuel pump relay was reading 75 and the reserved was reading 102. So I was like, oh, there we go. That's the problem.
No, not really.
If it's within the 50 to 100 range, there's nothing wrong with it. So I thought that was a problem. Drove around town, was fine that week because I was gone for a whole week with the car in Virginia. And on the way back, drove all the way home, like the full 9 hours. And fuse didn't pop at all. So I was like, okay, cool. And that following week, I had another trip, and this is the trip here. Atlanta to Illinois. About 5 hours into the trip, the fuse popped. And I was like, oh, this is not good. Long story short, the trip was an 8.5 hour trip. Ended up being like a 10-hour trip. Every like 40 or 30 or 15 minutes, I think 12 minutes was the lowest. Like the fuse just popped after changing one fuse to another, and it's sporadic. I did a lot of research once we got here and found out a lot of people are having this issue. People are saying they changed the rear SAM and it solved their issue with, you know, blowing the fuses. Mercedes doesn't just sell fuel pump for this car. You have to change the whole fuel tank system because it has 2 units in it and it's tied in with the whole fuel tank. People say they've changed that and it solved the issue with blowing their fuses. I think some people have said they changed the fuel filter and the fuse stopped blowing, and I'm thinking mine is the fuel filter because when I started changing the fuses back here, I realized the relay and this whole section up here was pretty warm. I don't want to say hot, but it was warmer than warm.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This is not supposed to be warm. There's too much electrical current going through the fuel pump into the relay and the fuse, and that's what's blowing the fuse. If the fuel pump is working really hard, that means something is clogged, and I'm thinking it's probably the fuel filter. I'm gonna be changing the fuel filter here. I'll show you guys how to do that. It's fairly simple. I'll go ahead and replace that and see if that solves the issue. The thing is, once I change it, I don't really know if that solves the issue because driving around town, it doesn't pop, but it seems to pop on long distance. So about 5 hours or so, that's when it'll pop. During those hours, things are getting heated up. The fuel pump is working harder and harder. Driving around town really doesn't cause the fuel pump to work as much because stop and go traffic, once you got enough pressure in the fuel rails, the fuel pump just stops working. But at higher speeds, that pressure is built up and the fuel pump has to keep working to keep sending fuel into the engine. So that's what's causing the heating issues. It's just been really frustrating, especially traveling with your family and car just stops on the side of the highway. This is the driver's side. There's a cover underneath here. This cover And this cover, the fuel filter is right over here. And there are a few bolts on here. They look like this plastic. It's a 10 millimeter. Just go ahead and take them off, and then this plastic piece will come off. So I got most of the screws off except for one, so I can have it in place. So when I go back to fit it, I'm not struggling. When you look back here, that is the fuel filter right there. Those are the clamps holding on to the hoses. See this Torx screw right here? But you need to undo this in order to get the fuel filter out before you start undoing the line. The screw holding on to the fuel filter is a T25. All right, filter's back in. The screws for the filter, I mean, I don't know what kind of German engineering this is, but you need a 7 socket for this line. This, you would need a flathead screwdriver, and that you would need a 5, and this you would need a 6. So you need a 5, 6, 7, and a flathead screwdriver to get the fuel filter out. All right, so you guys saw I got the filter changed out. I wanted to show you this filter that came out of the car, and fuel filter, the life of it span is about 9 to 10 years, and this is way longer than 10 years. So this was overdue. It needed changed. So this is the filter itself, and this was definitely changed at some point. Date on there says 5/3/12. For it being this old, the filter is definitely bad. Anything above 10 years, I would definitely change out your fuel filter.
I'm looking at with the whites there. Now that's more the color it should have been to begin with. Not that black color.
Stuff that came out. That was dirty.
That was very dirty.
A lot of fuel in there than I
See it
thought.
better against the white background of the siding.
Oh yeah. I caught it a little late when we dumped out the fuel, but when we first dumped it out, you could literally see black particles coming out of the filter, and eventually, cleared out a little bit better. But I'm not sure. Are we going to open that or not?
I'll try to blow through it and see
how, yeah.
what that would feel.
You gonna use an air compressor?
Sure.
Oh. Have you ever tasted fuel before?
Bruh! That one's plugged. I cannot blow through that one. I don't know what, oh, that's tank return, that's the pump, okay.
Oh, so that part is supposed to be like that, yeah. Seemed like it was a little dark. I mean, could we probably possibly pour something in there for it to come out?
Yeah. That was definitely,
That was really bad.
very dark color for fuel. It should not have been like that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think that's probably what it was. Because we just checked the wires. And I'll show you guys real quick. The wire in here looks in great shape. In here as well. And again, see the color of this? It looks pretty brand new. WD-40.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, no way. Is that supposed to look like that?
No.
No way.
I would say your fuel filter was definitely,
Yeah.
if not the problem, was making the pump work much harder than what it should. That stuff should not have come out of easily. I didn't even spray. WD-40 is not really a cleaner. It's going to dissolve some stuff, but
Holy smokes.
yeah, that filter was definitely contaminated. I do have a camera epic beard. Did you get the beard?
Guys, check out that beard.
I would expect a fuel filter to have some dirt in it.
Uh-huh.
Not black.
But not like that.
Especially after we dumped all the fuel out. And
Yeah.
that is,
Because literally when you first dumped it out, it had like
it
chunks.
looked like that.
Yeah.
Fluid.
Yeah. I swear, guys, I've been putting 93 in, not 87. 93 is cleaner. Let's say.
It's about the same as the mid-grade, I
Yeah.
believe. Just the higher octane. The mid-grade is where they start adding the detergents and the
Gotcha.
additives, and the difference between the mid-grade and the 93 is the higher octane, I think.
I don't know how good the audio is going to pick this up. But tried making it back home. An hour into the trip, I already blew 3 fuses. I definitely couldn't make it home. It's kind of sad, but this is what's happening. I'm pretty sure the fuel pump has lost itself from all the high miles we put on with that clogged fuel filter. So that's what I'm guessing. This is the worst situation ever. I'll catch you guys once we're loading this on the trailer. There's a 32. There's a trailer. Filling up on gas right now. On this Hemi 6.4 liter Ram truck. Strapped down, ready to go.